They always come back. And when they do, it feels like something inside you wakes up again. Not because you forgot everything they did, not because it didn't hurt, but because a part of you still wants to believe that this time it means something, that this time it's real, that this time they finally see you. But here's the part no one tells you. They don't come back because they love you. They come back because they lost access to you. And that changes everything. Because if you don't understand why they return, you'll keep opening the door, thinking it's love, when it's actually something very different, something much colder, much more calculated. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it anymore. Because there are patterns behind this, clear ones, predictable ones. And once you recognize them, you stop romanticizing the return and start seeing the strategy. One of the main reasons they come back has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with control. When you start pulling away, when you stop reacting the same way, when your energy shifts, even slightly, they feel it. Not emotionally, but psychologically. Because what they had with you was never just connection. It was access. Think about it. Every smile you shared, every argument you fought, every late night conversation, it all became a pattern in their mind. You trained them to expect your attention, your validation, your care. And now, even when they leave, the habit of having you there doesn't disappear. It lingers. It gnaws at them, even if they deny it to themselves. Because humans are wired to return to familiarity, to what feels safe even when it's hurt them. And that safety is you. Access to your attention, your care, your reactions, your emotional availability. And the moment that access feels threatened, they come back to restore it. Not to rebuild anything real, but to make sure they still can. To make sure you still respond. To make sure they still exist in your world. And the most confusing part is, they don't come back the same way they left. They come back softer, calmer, more attentive. They say the things you always wanted to hear. They become the version you waited for, the version you begged for, the version you thought was hidden somewhere inside them. And that's exactly what makes it so hard to resist. Because now you're not reacting to who they were. You're reacting to who you always hoped they could be. But that version isn't real. It's temporary. It only appears when they feel they're losing you. It's not growth. It's strategy. And once they feel secure again, once they feel your walls coming down, once they feel your energy soften, it disappears. Quietly. Until you're right back in the same place. Another reason they come back is something most people misunderstand. It's not love, it's ego. Because being the one who leaves feels very different from being the one who is left. When they walk away, they feel powerful. They feel in control. They feel like they decided the ending. But when you stop chasing, when you stop trying to fix what they broke, when you start moving on, something shifts. Now they're not in control anymore. Now they're not the center of your attention. And that is what they can't tolerate. So they come back, not because they suddenly value you more, but because they don't want to feel replaced. They want to feel important, dominant, necessary. Not because they love you, but because your absence threatens the image they have of themselves. And that's where the confusion hits hardest. You start questioning if maybe their return is genuine. You start wondering if perhaps, just maybe, they have changed. But this isn't transformation. It's ego fighting to survive. It's control trying to reclaim its place. And every doubt you feel, every moment of hope, is exactly what keeps the cycle alive. They don't want to feel forgotten. They don't want to feel like you can exist without them, because your independence threatens the image they have of themselves. And another reason they come back feels like connection, but isn't. It's dependency, not yours, theirs. Because even when they act distant, even when they disappear, even when they treat you like you meant nothing, they still get used to you being there. Your presence becomes predictable, familiar, available. You become part of their routine. And when that disappears, they feel it, not as love, but as absence, as discomfort, as something missing, and they don't like that feeling. So they return not to build something real, but to fill the space you left. And once that space feels full again, once things feel normal again, they disconnect again. Meanwhile, you feel the pull of what you thought was love. The silence after they leave feels deafening. Your mind replays every word, every touch, every glance. You try to convince yourself it's different this time, that they see you, that it's real, but your instincts know better. And this tension, this conflict, is the invisible chain that keeps you looking back, waiting, wondering, hoping. Because hope is seductive. Hope makes you forget the patterns. Hope makes you vulnerable. Hope makes you open the door one more time. There's also something else that most people only notice too late. They don't come back randomly. They come back at specific moments. When you're finally doing better, when you're quieter, when you're no longer chasing, when your energy is no longer focused on them. It's almost like they sense it. And in a way, they do, because when you stop chasing, you break the dynamic. And when the dynamic breaks, they lose control, they lose access, they lose their position. So they return to reestablish it. Not always consciously, but consistently. And that's why it feels so confusing. Because it feels like timing, like coincidence, like fate. But it's not, it's a cycle, a predictable cycle. And once you see it, you start recognizing the pattern. And here's the part that hurts the most. They don't come back as the same person who hurt you. They come back as the version you always wanted. More attentive, more present, more emotionally available, just enough to make you question everything, to make you doubt your decision, to make you think, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe this time it can work. And that maybe is what keeps you stuck, because it pulls you back into something that never really changed. It just paused. And this is where everything shifts, because eventually you stop asking, why do they always come back? And you start asking something much harder. Why do I keep opening the door? Because if you're honest, they didn't come back to fight for you. They didn't come back to rebuild anything. They came back because they knew they still could. Because somewhere inside you there was still hope, still belief, still a part of you that wanted it to be real. But it never is. Not really. It just looks different, long enough to pull you back in. And the hardest truth is this: the cycle doesn't continue because they return. It continues because you let them re-enter. Not because you're weak, but because you cared. And here's the truth most don't see. The real power is not in making them return. It's in deciding not to let them in. It's in claiming your own energy, your own attention, your own life. It's realizing that every maybe they trigger in you is an invitation to self-reflection, not surrender. The moment you take that step, truly step away, truly honor your own boundaries, you break the cycle. You reclaim the part of you that always believed in something real, and that, more than anything, is unstoppable. Because you believed, because you stayed longer than you should have, trying to turn something unstable into something real. But here's a deeper truth most ignore. Every return is a mirror of your own patterns. The hope you nurture, the doubt you hide, the desire to fix, the need to feel seen. They exploit it, consciously or not. And until you recognize it, you're participating in the cycle, feeding it with attention, with energy, with your very presence. And that's why it hurts so much. Because it was real for you. You gave something real to someone who only comes back when it's convenient. But once you see it, really see it, you don't react the same way anymore. You don't wait the same way. You don't open the same door. And that's when something finally changes. Not in them, in you. Because the moment you stop being available is the moment the cycle breaks. And maybe that's the hardest part. It's not about them coming back. It's about what you choose to do when they do. So be honest with yourself. If they showed up today, would you see it clearly? Or would you feel it all over again? Because that answer changes everything. And there's one last layer most miss. Some people don't come back at all. Not because they changed, but because they found someone else to replace the role you had. Or because they lost interest completely. Or because, deep down, they know you wouldn't open the door anymore. And that is the one thing they avoid the most. Because losing control over someone they once had is something they don't handle well. If you've ever wondered why, you'll want to see what comes next.